Good morning, watch nerds. I'd watched some reviews on this watch a few months ago and I've kept my eye open for a good one ever since. The very fact that the brand is Chinese and it's got a Chinese name, rather than pretending to be European, well, that tempted me. Now, at the time of making this video, the price listed for the PT5000 version is £363 and the Sellita SW200 is £446. For a brand sold on the AliExpress format, this isn't cheap. But stick with me, because there's quite a lot to this watch. Strangely enough, only a few days prior to me buying this good used one, I had my finger hovering over the button to buy this watch with the PT5000 movement in it for £280 from AliExpress, although I would have gone for the brown version with the Chinese characters. However, that price did include coins and discount codes though. When this green version came up with a better movement option for a price I couldn't resist, I just pulled the trigger. I won't tell you the price, but in reality, it barely covered the cost of the movement. And welcome to my unpaid and unsponsored review of the Husso HS002-1. Well, the box it came in is substantial to say the least, and could possibly home an entire family of illegal immigrants. There are some instructions nobody's ever going to read, and an unsigned 2-year warranty card. Now, on an inexpensive watch, an unsigned warranty card doesn't really bother me, but this isn't particularly cheap, and therefore this one certainly should have been dated. I have to say though, the packaging is certainly impressive. Looking at the dimensions then, well, the case is 38mm, the lug width is 20mm, the depth is just 11.1mm, which includes a box dome sapphire crystal with AR coating, and the lug to lug is 46.7mm. Now, on this strap it weighs about 66 grams. I would say it wears to size, but if I'm honest, I think this size is at the very top end of what I consider as a dress watch. And this is my watch of the day. It's the Marne Greenwich GMT. I'm not entirely sure if when released there was a choice of two movements, but as mentioned there are two now. Now, this has got the Sellita SW200 inside, and there is also a PT5000 option. Both are legal clones of the ETA 2824, albeit the SW200 is Swiss and the PT5000 Chinese. Needless to say, the Swiss option does cost more though. What worries me is the print on the dial says Swiss movement, and this is the same on all options. The movement on either option are 4 Hz, and they tick away at 28,800 beats per hour, and they hack and they ham mind. Now, this does have a ghost position, and although that doesn't bother me in the slightest, it may annoy some people. Now, the power reserve is around 38 hours, and they're both robust and reliable, especially the Sellita, which is far more proven. Now, if regulated correctly, both movements are extremely accurate. Let's have a look at this one on a time grapher. Well, not a lot wrong with that. A very good beat error, an excellent amplitude, and have a look at that rate. The unsigned push-pull crown I would describe as onion in style. It's very nicely knurled and it operates the movement as it should do. To be honest, I think it suits the watch perfectly. The watch came with this quality green leather strap, which if you paid $40 for, to be honest you wouldn't question it. It's beautifully made, it's very supple, and it's extremely comfortable. Now, it tapers from 20mm to 16mm, and it'll fit wrist from about 6 to 8 inches. Now, the side hardware is also of great quality, and to be honest, it suits the strap beautifully. The only part of the upper case that isn't polished is the tops of the lugs, which are brushed to a fantastic standard. Now, the fixed bezel is domed, and then the highly polished chamfer leads down to rounded sides. It's nicely shaped, and it fits perfectly on the back of the wrist. The case back is of the exhibition variety, and it's also made of sapphire. The frame is brushed and it's got some basic information on it, and it's held down with 4 screws, helping with the claimed 50 metres of water resistance. Now, Husso have put their own custom made rotor on it, which has turned what is normally an average looking movement into something quite special. I'll say here and now, this is one of the nicest looking case backs I've seen. Now the star of the show, the dial. As mentioned earlier, there are a few variants, this obviously being the green one with the Western numerals. Now each dial is hand lacquered and it can take up to a month to produce one, so needless to say, each one is unique. Apparently, I have to dispose of many dials because the required standard is so high. Now there isn't a minute track, which again is something that doesn't bother me, but it may bother some people. Huso is printed below the 12 o'clock index, and there is some Chinese script above the 6 o'clock marker, although I've got no idea what it says. Now on this particular watch, the numerals are lightly loomed, but the unusually shaped and attractive hands aren't. On a dress watch that doesn't bother me, well, I do find that combination quite strange. So what do I think of the Huso HS002-1? Firstly, I wish they'd given it a proper name, but that isn't important, I suppose. If I'd been really picky, a signed warranty card would have been nice, as would a signed crown, and I know some people are going to moan about their ghost position. The fact is though, that this is a watch of excellent quality and specification. The dial is fantastic and unusual, the case finishing excellent, it's got a superb strap, a sapphire sandwich, and on this particular watch it's got a quality to its movement. Would I recommend one? Of course I would, but as usual, I'd always suggest you look around for a good used one. So that brings me to the end of this review. As usual, I'm going to ask you to click on the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Now please leave your comments below because I always respond. And enjoy what's left of your day.